Next, I'd like to welcome to the podium the Chief Executive of AFBI, Dr. Stanley McDowell. Dr. McDowell.
Thank you, Minister, for those words. And Minister, invited guests, colleagues, I'd like to add my own welcome to AFBI Hillsborough this morning. Particularly thank the Minister for joining us. We really do appreciate everyone taking time out of what I know are busy diaries to join us here in the launch of our strategy. The AFBI Science Strategy is set in the context of significant global and local challenges, but also a time of huge opportunity. The global challenges which the world faces are significant. We continue to see a growing world population. It was something like 4 billion when I think back to my time at school, and that does say a little bit about how old I am. It was about 4 billion at that time. It's now 8 billion. It's heading towards 10 billion by 2060. We have the challenges of climate change. Average global temperature, 1.1 degrees Celsius above 2024, the first time in which the world was 1.5 degree crossed the warming threshold in terms of global temperatures. We also have the challenge of biodiversity loss. The UN Secretary General in May this year said, called on countries to radically rethink their relationship in nature, warning that biodiversity loss is a global crisis that no nation can afford to ignore. We also have the global challenge of One Health, the threat posed by new emerging and re-emergent diseases, the classic example being SARS-CoV-2 and the global pandemic of COVID. Go back just for a moment to the figure on world population. The figure means that global agriculture currently feeds twice the world population that it did 50 years ago. It's going to have to feed 10 billion by 2060. And much of that advancement has been impossible through changes in science and technology. But we're going to have to continue to advance while meeting the challenges of biodiversity loss and land use. But within those global challenges, there's also the challenge of food security. Figures are quite stark. 730 odd million people in the world, or 1 in 11, face hunger. And alongside food security, the issue of food safety. The local challenges that we face very much reflect the global challenges. The challenges of climate change and water and air quality, the challenges of agri-food productivity, the challenges of transboundary diseases such as avian flu and blue tongue, and the challenge and the ongoing challenge of bovine TB, something very close to my own heart and something which I worked on for many years. But that's also in the context of the importance of the Northern Ireland agri-food industry, our largest single industry. Output in 2024 of something in excess of 3 billion from the agricultural industry. 77% of our agricultural products exported. Also an important fisheries and aquaculture sector. An industry that has world-class food traceability and food safety systems, much of the latter underpinned by the testing done in this organisation. Agricultural and rural economy is also deeply ingrained in our psyche and in our society. Many of us, even if we don't work on farms, have come from farms and live in rural communities, and we very much appreciate the importance of the industry and the rural community to Northern Ireland life. The global and local challenges aren't just challenges for government or for society, they're also challenges for our sector, and how we balance factors such as economic prosperity and growth with environmental sustainability and One Health will be crucial to the future that we create together for society, the economy and the environment. It is in that context that the science strategy is set. It encompasses the key challenges of economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, climate change, One Health, food security and food safety. It is centred on our vision and purpose and organisational values, and it's very deliberately entitled Inspiring Excellence and Delivering Impact. The phrase summarises as it does our corporate vision of scientific excellence delivering impactful and sustainable outcomes for society, the economy and the natural environment. But it also is recognising that our people, our colleagues here today, whether they work in frontline science or in our corporate role, which deliver science, and we want our strategy to act as an inspiration to continue AFBI and its predecessor organisations' long history of scientific excellence. Its strategy is based on our 5 corporate strategic priorities. They set out how we will apply internationally recognised scientific capability and expertise alongside the rapid advances that we're seeing in technology and science deliver impactful and transformative science to address the key global and local challenges which I've referenced. Those technological changes include the advances taking place in areas such as molecular and pathogen genomics, which underpin our work in animal and plant pathogens, and in areas such as bovine TB and transboundary diseases. Techniques and technologies which are transformative on how we respond to disease outbreaks and could only have been dreamt of when I started my career back in science back in the 1990s. Advances in instrumentation with the ability to detect minute quantities of chemical residues. Advances in technology on this particular site which underpins our work on livestock nutrition and greenhouse gas emissions, and which has further been combined with advanced genomic data. Application of high resolution and intensive monitoring on our water quality and air quality, advanced GIS systems and computer modelling to meet the challenges of the environment and marine space. AFBI Science Strategy is about how we will use and apply those advances in technology against the challenges which Northern Ireland faces. It also capitalises on our breadth of work, our holistic approach and skill set spanning as it does sustainable agri-food systems, animal and plant health, terrestrial and marine environments, which places AFBI in a unique position to address these global and local challenges which I mentioned earlier. As scientists, it is our role to produce evidence, to produce answers, to produce solutions. It's why we do the job we do. And ultimately, it is through science and technology advances that society and the world can move forward. The strategy is in a couple of formats. There's a short version for the summary version. There's also a longer one there as well today if you want to go through all the detailed thinking that's gone into it. It's centred on our three key science themes of sustainable agri-food systems under the banner of leading improvements in the agri-food industry to improve its sustainability. The protection of animal, plant and human health, very much the concept of One Health. The challenges of the environment under the banner of enhancing the natural marine environment. Alongside the strategic priorities of delivering quality outcomes and impact and enabling world-class science through excellence in people, places and technologies. For each of those priorities, we've identified the outcome that we wish to achieve, and importantly also a series, and apologies, it's quite far down the screen, and not all we may be able to, but it's in the brochures, about the key enablers that are critical in delivering the ambitions set out in the strategy. The expertise and excellence recognise the importance of our staff, focus on impact, which the Minister has referenced, how we need to support impact maximisation and communicate and influence coming from that. Technology and data, absolutely critical key enabler, and one that we're investing heavily with the support of DARA in at the moment. Funding and investment. Money keeps the world going round, it also keeps AFBI going round. And we are very appreciative of the support and investment, which is very significant going in at the moment in terms of new marine research vessel and animal health sciences building and other investment plans for this site. But we do work in partnership with very strong strategic lines with Queen's. We work in partnership with Ulster University and many further afield, both in academia and other research institutes. And it's good to see colleagues from Chagas here today. And that work is to really maximise our ability of our science to drive innovation and change. Well, today is very much about looking forward. I want just for a moment to touch on a few key metrics from our science. Sorry, those are the enablers. I want to just for a moment touch on a few key enablers from our metrics from our science. This is done in our last impact booklet. There will be copies on the website or at the back if you want to pick one up. We have produced close to 800 publications over what was a period from 2018 to 2023, published in 27 countries, generated over 8,400 citations. Really admirable achievement for the diversity of work and the diversity of institute that we are. We've also participated in something over 2,000 technology transfer events for just over 400 KT reports, delivered over 3 million analytical tests over that period, underpinning our agri-food sector. We've commenced almost 100 DARA E&I projects to produce evidence underpinning policy delivery. Also very proud of our achievement with external partners, working and attracting something like 120 competitive contracts, 32 million of external income over that period. I'm going to hand over to colleagues just in a moment when we're going to hear more about the individual areas and the individual science themes and some very quick examples of how we're applying technology to the challenges about what I spoke about. The presentations on soil health, water quality, transboundary diseases and emergency preparedness. But I want, maybe at this point to acknowledge the work of Professor David McCleary. David has chaired the strategy working group and along with EMT colleagues, Peter, Jan, Alistair and Elizabeth, drafted the strategy and put so much work into today's event, so I just want to acknowledge that at this point in time. Sarah, maybe at this point, we hand back to you to carry on.
Yeah.